Okay, good evening, everyone. It's great to have you on the webinar with us tonight, just 1 week before Christmas. So you guys are the determined ones here that are excited about your business and getting on and hearing about this, what we have to offer. So welcome to you all. And we're going to get started tonight. Just first of all, I want to welcome those who are guests on the call tonight. And, you know, I was where you were 17 years ago. I was invited to take a look at this business. And I have to tell you, it has changed our life in every possible way. And, you know, our life just has not been the same since we learned about Mannatech, learned about the technologies that I'm going to share with you tonight, and learned about a way to have our own business, to have business ownership and create wealth and help to give our family a legacy for future generations. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, but I'm going to start out with a testimony. Rick and Joanne Denep, I got to visit with them a little bit in Punta Cana last week in the Dominican Republic. They're presidentials in Mannatech, and I'm glad they're on the line with us tonight. And I'm going to ask them just to share a little bit about what it is you love about Mannatech. And so Rick and Joanne, can you just share with us a little bit about that?
Sure. Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
Well, I would say that Mannatech not only has brought health into our lives, but also romance. The amount of traveling we've done with Mannatech has been exceptional. Joanne, how many times have you been to Hawaii?
10.
Been to Hawaii 10 times, courtesy of Mannatech. Just got back from Punta Cana, and we've been travelers of the world, even to Malaysia, Borneo, Japan, and it's brought us closer together and it's made memories. You can't take physical wealth around with you, but you can sure take memories.
That's great. You know, Joanne, Rick and Joanne, you really brought up something really important that I haven't really talked about one of the benefits of our business is that you can do this together as a husband and wife. You can work together from home. You have a central focus of dreams that you're working on together. And there's no better way to draw a couple closer together than to work on making your dreams come true together and then getting to travel the world. So that's awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
And we can work complementary. What I'm good at, she's not, and what she's good at, I'm not.
That's good.
So we are very blessed.
That's great. That's so good. Joanne?
I do the strategy and he does the closing.
You know, that makes for a good team. That's a great way to work, is that you both work on what your strong points are, and you can work together and really make things happen. I know when my husband and I started working at Mannatech together, things went so much faster, and we were able to just have that synergy to move our business forward. So thank you for sharing that with us tonight. Well, you know, when my husband and I first looked at Mannatech, we had a trucking company for 25 years, and we'd had the conventional type business, which was, you know, to have a lot of overhead, a lot of employees. We had 450 employees, and we had over-the-road trucks that went coast to coast, hauling refrigerated goods back and forth from east to west coast. So we had lots of liability. We had an $8 million line of credit at the bank, and we had there was a lot to it to have that type of a business. But out of that, we made a really good six-figure income, and you know, we really enjoyed our lifestyle. But it was a lot of stress to have that type of a business. And at a point in our life, we decided we needed to close down that business and sell off those trucks. We thought we were going to have a nice retirement out of it. And due to some things that happened, we ended up not only with zero, we ended up owing the IRS $350,000 because our CPA had failed to pay the last quarter payroll taxes. So we were basically starting over not just at zero, but below zero. When we were really seriously looking for a new company and looking for a way to create an income, but without having that type of an overhead and all that liability and line of credit. So when we first looked at Mannatech and we saw what I'm going to show you tonight, we got really excited about a way that we could to get back the lifestyle that we had had with our trucking company, and to also be able to take care of our health. And so, that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. It's just some ways that you can get involved in a business of your own. And that might sound scary to some of you, but we're going to show you that it's really very simple, and we do this together, so it makes it a lot of fun. And like Rick and Joanne were saying, when you're doing it together as a couple, it's even more exciting and more fun. So let's get started. On the cover, you saw that it said that this was a guide to social entrepreneurship. Well, let's talk a little bit about what that means. That is a business model where we can change your world and the world at the same time. And, Harvard Business Review talked about this in a few years ago in one of their articles. They talked about what great companies do differently, and they said that they create value for society, they solve the world's problems, and they still make money too. And so that's what we're all about. We're going to talk first about how we can change your world, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what Mannatech is doing to change the world, and how when we change our world, we can also do the other at the same time and bless others. So let me ask you first if you can relate to any of these statements. Let's talk about focusing on changing your world. So any of these true for you? Mounting debt, job insecurity, and stress make it really difficult to pursue what I enjoy. Or I'm working to make my boss's dreams come true rather than my own. Or another one, I'm getting concerned about having enough money for retirement. That was kind of where my husband and I were, as we were concerned that we were going to have enough money for retirement. I have a good career, but it consumes all of my time. I want time freedom. We have a gal in our group who has an incredible job. She works as a talent agent in Hollywood, and she's on all the red carpets. She's travels with Tom Cruise. She's at every premiere around the world, and yet she's building the Mannatech business because she wants time freedom. So that might be you as well. You want to give to others, but you never seem to have enough left over to give substantially. Or maybe you're just one of those people that are always looking for ways to increase financially. So let me ask you a question. If in the next 2 to 5 years, let's just say, first of all, that what I'm going to show you tonight really works, and that it will really work for you. And so if in the next 2 to 5 years, you were able to come to a point through this vehicle of Mannatech where time and money were not an object in your life. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to think about this and participate with me. What would you do differently in 2 to 5 years if time and money were not an object than you're doing right now? Would you travel more? Would you be able to be stay-at-home parents, or maybe grandparents that can take your grandkids on trips? Would it give you freedom to do those things that are important to you, be able to give back to others? In the text box on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, I want you to type me a message of what you would do differently if time and money were not an object for you. So let me just wait for a minute while you do that. It's in the bottom left-hand corner. If you can just quickly type me a message of what you would do if time and money were not the object. You didn't have to go to work if you didn't want to. You had plenty of money, so you weren't having to work for an income. What would you do? Nancy says she would do all of it. That's good. What else? Come on, you guys, participate with me here. Okay, do you see the text box in the bottom left-hand corner? Okay, I'm not getting any more messages. Are you just not thinking of anything? Well, I'm going to go on because I don't want to take, oh, okay, now they're coming in. Okay, Rick and Joanne said they would give back more. And Jennifer says that she would travel and have lifestyle freedom, freedom of her life, with her lifestyle. That's great. You know, those are all things that when you get free of having to work at a job, which I call being slave to a boss. I don't like doing that. Then it allows you to do those things that are important to you. Lewis says he would help with grandchildren's education expenses. You know, that's such a great thing to be able to do today. I know my kids are in private schools. It's very expensive, and that's something we can help our children out with so that we can take care of our grandchildren. So thank you guys for participating with me there. Okay, so let's go on then. So, you know, it's over time, it seems like we have really big dreams when we get out of college, but then your dreams kind of begin to shrink to what your income level is. And, you know, Robert Kiyosaki has a quote. He said one time, I heard him speaking one time, and he said that he doesn't try to make his lifestyle fit into his budget. He expands his budget to fit his lifestyle, to fit what his dreams are. And I think that's such a great way of looking at things, is we want to look for ways to increase our income, increase the what we have available to us for our lifestyle, to do those things that are important to us. So we're going to come back to that in a minute, but I want to bring up Mannatech's mission of how they're changing the world while we change our own world. And that's Mission 5 Million. The Mission 5 Million Foundation is Mannatech's mission organization to fight global malnutrition. I'm going to show you tonight a technology that is dramatically changing health around the world. And Mannatech feels so responsible to be good stewards of this technology and to help those that are less fortunate. And so we have found that there's 5 million children under the age of 5 years old that are dying every year of malnutrition. And with Mannatech around and with our technologies, we say that that's just not acceptable and that we can do something about it. So we're not just an organization that has a cause or has we're contributing to a particular cause. We are actually, with our mission, we're solving a world problem. We're solving the world problem of malnutrition. And we're going to do that by linking 5 million consumers with 5 million children who are in need so that we can distribute nutrition to those children that are at risk. And you can see here on the screen a map of the world and the countries that we're already distributing nutrition to. As of April of this year, over 43 million servings going to children around the world. And basically the way it works, if you're familiar with Tom's Shoes, where every time someone buys a pair of shoes, they donate a pair of shoes to a child so they can attend school. It's that same kind of program, only we do it with nutrition. When someone places an automatic order for any of Mannatech's products, it triggers a donation of Vital Blend nutritional supplements to a child in need. So every $100 of orders that we place provides a month's supply of nutrition to a child. So that's how Mannatech is changing the world with every order that is purchased through Mannatech. So it's exciting to be able to be part of this huge project with Mannatech of M5M. Let me just show you kind of in broad strokes the kind of potential that means over the next 7 to 10 years. That's kind of the goal that we have for how long it's going to take us to accomplish this. And that's going to be when we connect 5 million consumers. So when we have 5 million consumers over the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to create a $6.5 billion company. But for us in the field who are working at that and connecting these consumers, that's going to amount to $2.6 billion in commissions back to us, those that get involved. Now, our organization, our goal is to do 1% of that, or $65 million in sales every month, and to help 50,000 children on a monthly basis. But in addition to that, in the overall, the way this is organized, it's going to create at least 10,000 people that will make over $100,000 a year, and approximately 2,500 people that will make over $500,000 a year, and then about 250, and there could be more than this, that's making over $1 million a year. And you know what's exciting about that is that getting started with Mannatech, there's really no risk involved. There's a 180-day satisfaction guarantee, so you can get involved with us and really not at any risk. If you're not happy with the product, if you're not happy with your results, you can return the products and get your money, or return the empty bottles and get your money back. So we're going to talk more about that in a little bit, but I want you to kind of get a picture of just how big this M5M goal is. So how can we do both? How can we change your world and change the world at the same time? Well, it all has to do with the mode of distribution and marketing. And you see in the upper left-hand corner that the traditional retail model, that's where a product moves from the producer to the wholesalers and advertisers. They advertise the product, then you go into the retail store and purchase it. Now, when you purchase a product, if you're happy with it and you tell your friends about it, does the company ever send you a thank you check or a referral bonus for referring someone to them? No, they don't do that. All the money for that is eaten up in the middlemen out in the advertising. So what the social entrepreneur model does is it rewards us as we become like the advertising arm of the company. And so now a product moves just from the manufacturer. They do all the research and development, the quality assurance. They actually distribute it. We don't do any inventory, any shipping of product. That's all done by the company. What we get to do as the social entrepreneur is we become the advertising arm. So as we refer people to the products, they get an account number that's connected to ours, and the company ships them products directly to them. And when they get their product, when that product is sold, then Mannatech pays us up to 44% of the cost of the product comes back to us as the advertisers for that product. Now, manufacturers are really liking this way of doing business because they don't have to pay for their advertising until after the product is actually sold. And so that's very appealing to manufacturers, which you'll see in a little bit how this business, this type of industry and selling is really exploding. So what happens then is when we connect a consumer, then like I said before, we're connecting a child to that, so everyone is helping a child, and that's how we can change both our world and the world at the same time. Now, earlier I asked you about what you would like to change in your life, and could you relate to any of these different scenarios of being concerned about retirement or making your boss's dreams come true. And, you know, most everyone, when I ask people what would they like to change, there's always something that they want to change about their financial situation. And Robert Kiyosaki, who is an expert in investment and in teaching people how to make their money work for them, he wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And in there he talks about the reasons that we are where we are, where we're not happy, we're not making enough money, is because that people fall into one of four of these quadrants. And first on the left-hand side, there's the E quadrant and the S quadrant. Those are the employee and the self-employed. Now on this side of the equation, these people are trading time for dollars. They're working at a job. You go and work at a job 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and you get a paycheck. So you are trading your time for money. The self-employed person is basically doing the same thing. They own a job. That would be like a dentist, a chiropractor, a massage therapist. Unless they show up on the job, they're not going to make any money. And Robert Kiyosaki says that 90% of the people in the world fall into this left side of the quadrant. They are working for money. Now, the people on the right-hand side, they have figured out how to get money to work for them. That's the business owner and the investor. The business owner owns a system of doing business that people work for him, and now if he goes on a vacation or he doesn't show up to work for a week or so, his business system still continues to work, and he still continues to generate money whether he's on the job or not. And those are the people that have money working for them. Now, it's interesting that 90% of the people out there are working for money. You see on the left side, 10% of the people are working, have money working for them, but they own 90% of the wealth. So it looks like the place to be is on the right-hand side of the quadrant. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki talks about, is that in their other books, this was done with Donald Trump, they did a book, Why We Want You to Be Rich. They talk about the best way to create wealth is to have your own business. And you know, you could go start a franchise, you could go try to figure out a product to sell and take it to market, or you could, you could go invest a bunch of money and buy a Subway's franchise or something like that. But what Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump say is that the best way to have your own business is to own a network marketing business. And the reason why is because there's low startup expenses. You know, anyone can get started for as little as $100 in our network marketing business. But there's huge tax advantages. Like right now, I'm working from home. I'm in my office at home. My husband has an office at home. We can write off half of all of our living expenses. You know, you want to consult your your CPA about that, but a lot of your lifestyle becomes a write-off. We have time freedom. We can work from home on our own schedule. We're paid for our efforts and the efforts of others as we leverage our time with others. And then there's unlimited earning potential, and it creates ongoing income. So that is a great way for most of us to have a business. And then with ours, we're also changing the world, so it's just one step better of actually making an impact, not only on our lives, but on the lives of others. So, you know, in Forbes magazine recently, there was an article about this type of business and about network marketing, and it talked about that baby boomers are prime candidates for direct selling, which network marketing falls under that direct selling umbrella. And they said that it is a great solution to a lot of people for creating income during retirement. They say that half of all baby boomers, 76 million of them, are interested in starting their own business. So this is huge. You know, one of the things that's said in the article is that when someone of retirement age, they've been working at a job all their life, maybe working in a bank or in a business, in an office cubicle, and then they retire, they go home and they don't have that same community, that same connection with others they did on the job, and they can become very lonely. But so it says also, in addition to making money, it also satisfies that need for significance and being connected to a community, continuing to grow education-wise, and being able to leave a legacy. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, the millennials, that's the 20 to 30-year-olds, the ones that are just getting out of college, they are really, it says here, snubbing their nose at the corporate jobs because they don't want to work for a boss. They want to consider, they want to be their own boss. They want to have time freedom, work from home, and control what they do. So on either end of the spectrum, we have something to offer for both of those groups through network marketing. And what better type of a business, if you're going to be in network marketing, then you want to be in where the real action is at. And so there's two huge industries that are really exploding right now. One of them is the health and wellness industry. It is over $1 trillion industry. We all know what's going on in health and wellness. I don't need to spend a lot of time on that, but we have an aging population. Costs are really rising, so people are really looking for wellness options. They're looking for natural supplements. They're looking for ways to take care of their health. So on the other side, the direct selling industry, like I mentioned before, that manufacturers are really loving this way of marketing their products because they pay for the advertising after the product is sold. So that is becoming a huge business. In fact, in 2010, the sales through direct selling were at $125 billion in sales. And in just 2 years, in 2012, the total sales from direct selling grew to $167 billion in total sales. So it's huge, rapid growth in this arena, in this market. And so when you bring the two together, in Mannatech is right there in the sweet spot between them, in the direct selling and network marketing, and in health and wellness. So we're right there in that sweet spot. But, there are some other companies that can say that they're in the health and wellness industry as well, that they've got, about every nutrition company out there claims to have the best fat loss product, the best skin care. So what is it that really sets Mannatech apart? Well, Mannatech is a 20-year-old company. It's not one of these new startup companies. It was founded in 1994. It's headquartered in Coppell, Texas, next to Dallas. It operates internationally in 24 countries, And Mannatech has invested over $50 million in research and development to date. And in addition to that, what really brings Mannatech to the top of these nutritional companies that are out there is our technology. We have a technology in glyconutrition that I'm going to explain to you in a minute that is really just shaking the world of the science community. It has over 90 patents on it worldwide right now. And we were actually invited, our scientists and medical team were invited to go to the Royal Society of Medicine in London, England, to present our ambertose glyconutrient technology at the Royal Society of Medicine. And that is just unheard of. The only nutrition company that's ever been invited to the Royal Society of Medicine to present their finding, their discovery. And, another thing that just has happened recently is that I just saw it on the stock market this week, is that they posted the top 10 fastest growing stocks on the stock market in this last quarter. And there were, in the top 10, Mannatech was number 5, and the other companies there were all pharmaceutical companies and biomedicine companies. So that's very interesting that a nutritional company would be right there in the middle of those with fastest growing. So we're very excited about that. Mannatech is also the only nutritional company that offers a complete no-risk trial, like I mentioned before, 180-day satisfaction guarantee. They put their money where their mouth is, basically, because Mannatech has done lots and lots of double-blind placebo studies to show that our products really work and that people really do get results. And so they put their money where their mouth is and offer a 180-day satisfaction guarantee. You can try any product in their product line for 6 months. If you're not completely satisfied, you just keep the empty bottles and send them back to them, and they will send you your money back. So, with that kind of a guarantee, I asked one time what the return rate was, and I was told that the return rate was less than 1%. So that speaks volumes of how people are satisfied with this technology. So here's a couple of gentlemen on the screen here that you see that are also really touting the benefits of Mannatech. One of them is Dr. Ben Carson. He's been in the news a lot lately, and he is a world-renowned neurosurgeon, former director of pediatric neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins. And a movie's actually been made about his life called Gifted Hands, which is a phenomenal story. But he also wrote another book called Take the Risk. And in that, he wrote that when he was challenged with faced with his own health challenge, he chose to include glyconutrient supplements in his integrative approach to his own health. And he admits, he says that he has used Mannatech supplements for 11 years now. He's been the keynote speaker at Mannatech events several times now. And he recently also did a PBS special called The Missing Link, The Science of Brain Health. And in that special, he also mentioned the importance of glyconutrients. Dr. John Rollins is also one that he's a patent and trademark examiner, award-winning patent examiner, and was from the Howard University College of Medicine. And he calls ambertose one of the most important healthcare discoveries of the 21st century. He says that he believes the overall immune-supporting potential of ambertose represents the best integrated health strategy that science has to offer. So let me just give you the nutshell version of this discovery of the glycans, or glyconutrients. There are cell surface sugar structures called glycoproteins that are necessary for the proper recognition and functioning on our cells. And when sugars are missing from the glycoprotein structures, cells cannot function normally. The immune system reads the cell surface sugar structures on the cell to determine if they're healthy, they need repair, or need to be destroyed. And when I'm talking about sugars here, I'm talking about monosaccharides. These are not like table sugars. These are special glycans that we need in our body. And there's a lot written on this now in Harper's Biochemistry, and many other textbooks now are finally coming on learning about this and teaching it to med students. But so in a nutshell, they found that there's these 8 glycans that are necessary for cellular communication in the body. But we normally only get 2 in the modern diet. And scientists have proven that the body can benefit from a supplemental blend of all 8 of these, which they put together in a supplement powder form, and they called it ambertose. Now, with any new discovery, it goes through 3 distinct phases in the science community. And this even happened with the discovery that washing hands before surgery was an important thing to do. You know, we think of that now as, well, of course you'd wash your hands before you went into surgery. But back when that first became a discovery, it was ridiculed. Same thing with our discovery of these glycans and the cellular communication on the cells. First it's ridiculed. Then it is strongly opposed, which we definitely went through that phase. In fact, if you're on the internet, you could even find some of that still today, maybe that's left over from back around 2007 or 8 or so, that it was strongly opposed in the science community. They thought that this was all just a fraud. But now it's come full circle to the point that now this whole discovery about the glycans has become self-evident. And on the screen you see the cover of a report. This is actually a summary of 4 different science entities: the National Academy of Science, the National Academy of Engineering, the Institute of Medicine, and the National Research Council went together and they compiled their reports. They were each really researching this discovery of the glycans. In a 193-page report they put together on this. This is the front cover of it. And it says, in summary, that the glycans play roles in almost every biological process and are involved in every major disease. Now, on the back of the summary, it says that their recommendation is that this whole discovery be taught at the high school level and that questions about the glycans be included on the SAT and ACT tests within the next 5 to 10 years. So it truly has been a discovery that has gone through all the phases. First, of ridicule, strongly opposed, and now it's become self-evident. And we're very excited to be at this point. So here's our 2 products, our 2 flagship products. Ambertose, of course, is the inside the body. This is the most important product you can put in your body. Any other nutrition you're taking won't work nearly as well if you don't have your cells communicating. So this ambertose has all the 8 glycans in it. It supports cellular communication, improves cognitive function, improves memory, improves concentration, improves attentiveness, improves mood, immune system, and digestive system support. Those are all things that we have double-blind placebo studies on, so we can make those claims. And if you want to read all that for yourself, you can go to mannatechscience.com and read all about that. So that's ambertose for inside the body. And then we have another product, a brand new product called Youth, which I call ambertose for outside the body. And this is an advanced skin matrix rejuvenation cream that really gets results, and we see how it removes wrinkles. So that's a pretty exciting product for us as well. And so we have a whole line of products that are based on this glycan or glyconutrient technology. I'm just going to show you quickly a few pictures of the Youth, just because it shows you how people's skin, if the skin can be transformed this way with ambertose on the skin, just think what it can do in the body. So these are these are all friends of mine that sent me their pictures. So phenomenal results we're seeing from the Youth. So that's outside the body, and then ambertose for inside the body. So just to wrap this up, there's really 2 ways that you can participate with it. You could just decide to become a customer and purchase the ambertose, purchase the Youth product, or anything that you choose. And every month that you have an automatic order, you would be helping us solve the problem with M5M and connecting children with consumers. But what we're really looking for is business owners. We want business partners that would come along with us, and we'll help you to change your world and change the world at the same time. You might want to earn some supplemental income, or you could even replace your income if you so choose to do that. And it's very easy to get started. We help you to get an account number and then just select a business pack, which I'll show you those in a minute. And then basically you're going to establish an automatic order of $100 or more. That's what opens the door for you to get the commissions as you start referring people to us. And then find people who want to improve their well-being and expand their income. And you're not doing this by yourself. Like I said in the beginning, we work at this together. We can help you to get whatever dreams you have. We can help you to achieve that. We have a whole mentoring program and coaching and training program that we work directly with you. We have a proven system that we use called the 3-point plan, and we have business tools and tools to help you to really become all that you can be and to develop personally so that you bring out the greatness that's in you. We have events. We have one March. Our next big event is March 5th through the 8th in Dallas, Texas. So that's something for you to, those are some of the ways that you can have a business for yourself but not by yourself. And we're going to help you to reach whatever goals you have. So the first thing, like I said, is to choose an enrollment pack. And we have a variety of packs you can choose from. They start as little as $99. And you can get started for that. But the pack that will really open all the income streams is either the $4.99 or the $9.99 one. I just tell people to pick the one in the middle, pick the $4.99 pack. That will give you a good assortment of products to start with, and then from there you would just have your $100 a month auto order. But I'm going to show you how quickly that you can earn back that initial investment. So I'm just going to show you very briefly the potential of income that you can earn. And like it says at the top, you're actually building a legacy. You really can leave this to the next generation. We have in our will, it's made out with our kids and our grandkids in there, that this business will go to them and they can continue to build this business. So that's very exciting. But you know, like any new business, it takes some time and effort to really get it going. And so you see the line, the green line at the bottom, that's kind of a long, drawn out, and then the arrow starts going up. Mannatech knows that it takes some time to develop income, so they incorporated some fast start income to kind of bridge that gap, which you see on the gray line. So let's look at this gray line at some of the bonuses to bridge the gap to the long-term income. The first income you're going to find is that when let's say that you do enroll at the $4.99 level, and then you enroll somebody, we call that the all-star level. When you enroll someone at that level, you're going to earn a $75 bonus. And then when you've enrolled 4 people at that level, each one of them you would earn $75 for, so you've earned $300 in those direct bonuses. But then when you get to 4, you're going to earn an additional power bonus of $400. So that makes $700 that you earn just with enrolling 4. And, you know, right there, you have more than earned back the money for your initial all-star pack of $4.99. So then you're on your way to creating, after you got 4 people, you're going to be real close to creating an ongoing team bonus. When you have $600 in volume, you're going to have $60 a month team bonus. So that'll pay for more than half of your monthly automatic order as well. And then you're going to start those 6 people will start sharing with a few, and then from there it kind of starts snowballing, because then you're going to get to 15 people, and we figured that an average order is $100, and so at 15 people in your business, that would be $1,500 in volume. That's going to make you a regional director. And then when those 15 people each share with a few people, you're going to get up to the point where you have 60 people or 6,000 in volume. That's going to be a national director. You can see the kind of bonuses there that you can earn. And then at when you get to the point that you have 200 people in your organization, and, you know, that seems like a lot, but when everybody's doing just a little bit, it really can grow quickly. We usually suggest that people are going to make that level within 6 to 9 months. And at executive level, you can be earning anywhere from $1,600 to $4,600 in monthly. And, you know, the reason why we give a range there, those are the actual numbers from this past year. And, you know, so if we say that you're making an extra $2,000 a month there, how would that make your life change? What would you do different? At that point, you could make some pretty significant changes in your lifestyle. And then from there on, you go up those 200 people, each sharing with just a couple of people, and before you know it, you'll be at the 600 people level, which is presidential, 60,000 in volume, with what we call the full-time income, and a lot of people quit their job by the time they get to this level. My husband and I reached this level in 2 years. I know we've got people on the call tonight that I can see here, like Fred and Galen, I think that got there a lot faster than that. And we've got another gal in our group, Linda, that's usually on here, that she got to that level in 11 months. So it's really, whatever you want to do there. So then that's also the level you heard Rick and Joanne Jeanette talk about going to Hawaii for the last 10 years. When you get to that presidential level, you earn a trip to Hawaii every January. We're just getting ready to go there ourselves just right after the first of the year. And this will be our 15th time in Hawaii. So then from that point on, once you've gotten through the presidential level, of course, the people that you're bringing on behind you are going to want to do the same thing you do, and they're going to get to that presidential level too. When you get one person to the presidential level, that's going to make you a bronze presidential with $8,000 to $10,000 a month coming in income. When you get two presidentials under you, you're going to be at the silver presidential level, which earns $13,000 to $16,000 a month. The gold level, that's 3 presidentials, $20,000 to $25,000, and then the platinum level, which is 4 presidentials in volume in your downline, and that earns around $40,000 and on up a month. So the sky really is the limit on what you're able to accomplish. Like I said, my husband and I reached the presidential level in 2 years. We reached the platinum level in 3 more years after that, in 5 years. And, we love to see people coming up and getting their dreams and creating whatever it is that they want with their life. And, I started out telling you our story about how we had closed down our trucking company. We saw Mannatech. We saw this as a way that we could get our lifestyle back. And, basically, in 4 years, we were able to replace the income that we had with our trucking company, which we had developed for 25 years. With a $8 million line of credit and 450 employees, 350 over-the-road trucks. But with just a laptop and a couple of cell phones, we were able to, just in sharing from our home, working from home, able to replace that income with a network marketing business in 4 years' time. So, we love this business. This is a great way to do business. And I just want to encourage you to get back with the person who invited you here tonight. Get your questions answered and come and join us. We're doing these webinars every week. We're going to skip next week because of Christmas, but we'll be coming back on the week of the 28th, I think it is, of December with another webinar. And bring somebody back with you. Get some guests on here with you so that you can share this with them. And, just go after your dreams. Whatever it is you want to achieve, you can do it. So thanks for being with us tonight. You all have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.